Hi, Vanessa here, and welcome to my channel. This October, we are doing casual vlogs of books that I've read as I read them, and today we're talking about The Nanny by Gilly Macmillan. If you are a fan of bookish chats, please subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to stay to the end for the book quote of the day. The last nanny-ish book I read was The Perfect Nanny, and it has such delicious, sinister undertones that I wanted to see how The Nanny compared to it. We meet Jo at the age of 7 in the 1980s, and she lives with her lord parents in this great big manor, and she has a nanny named Nanny Hannah, whom she totally adores because she doesn't get along with her parents, namely her mother. One night, Hannah just disappears. There is no explanation, and she's completely heartbroken, and ever since then, her relationship with her mother has never mended. Fast forward to today, Jo's husband has tragically passed away, and she and her daughter are homeless, so she has to move back into the manor with her mom. Her dad has passed away, so now it's just the three of them. And Jo is trying to get back on her feet and look for daycare and just try to provide a good life for her daughter. One day, her and her daughter go exploring the grounds, and they come across a skull in the lake by the house, and it's a fractured skull. So it seems that there was a little bit of foul play here, and she reports it to the police. Now, she does have this thought that it could be her nanny because there was never a good explanation of why she left, and so she has this nagging feeling it might be her nanny. This book is told in multiple POV. We have POV of Jo, of Jo's mom, of Nanny Hannah, and of the law enforcement. So a lot of POV to keep track of. The first one I'll say is the law enforcement POV is completely lackluster. The police work here is minimal. It didn't really add any value for me as a reader to hear what they were thinking. They were mostly just trashing on Jo's family because they are like high society. Jo's POV was a little bit more interesting but repetitive. She's very one-dimensional. She, is very irritated with her mom. She has worries about her daughter, but also she's kind of stuck in the past about her nanny and how she feels about her. And what things do get more interesting is Jo's mom's POV. She's obviously hiding something. She's very skittish that they found the skull in the lake, and she kind of hints that they're like her life and her husband's life is not what it seemed to be, and Jo doesn't know any of these things. She's completely oblivious. And then we get to Hannah's POV, which I found was the most interesting because it dates back to before she disappeared in the 1980s and how she grew up and how Nanny Hannah came to be about, and also her sinister ways of dealing with children that she doesn't like to nanny. Now, where it becomes kind of interesting is that one day Nanny Hannah in the present day knocks on the manor door, and Jo literally loses her mind because Nanny Hannah's back. And so her mom on top of that is like, is this the real Nanny Hannah or is this an imposter? Because at this point, she's kind of implying she did something to Nanny Hannah. Like, I think she could have murdered her. So, now this person has come back into their life and she knows things that Nanny Hannah only knows, and she seems like her, but 30 years have passed. So we're not sure what level of danger or threat this nanny poses. And Jo is just like over the moon, and because she's struggling in life, she really wants her daughter to connect with Nanny Hannah, and her daughter is just kind of not having it. She doesn't feel like good around her. She just doesn't like her, and you know how children are really perceptive. So I would say the story is very suspenseful, but it was also really slow and repetitive. I think when you are reading a book and you want to like shake the characters and say like just talk to each other, tell each other what you know. I had moments like that more often than not between Jo and her mother. And yeah, I did find Nanny Hannah's background story interesting, but it didn't really capture my attention. If you had read The Nanny and you read the last paragraph, because I must have reread it like 10 times and I still didn't really understand what happened at the end, please message me and give me a little bit of insight on what you think the last paragraph meant. I think this book is skippable. If you only had to read one nanny book, I would recommend The Perfect Nanny. My rating for this book is 3.5 stars out of 5. The next book I'm going to start reading is Holly Banks is Full of Angst by Julie Valerie, so stay tuned for that one. As always, I wish you happy reading, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!